Hello, everyone. I was going to say good morning, but good afternoon and happy Tuesday. The office is really quiet today because it was supposed to snow here, and I think it might have snowed 2 snowflakes. Of course, the entire city is shut down. Any of you who lived in Atlanta or just watched the news would know that a few years ago we had basically snow and ice, and people were stuck on the roads for like 8 hours. I think one of my managers was on the road for 17 hours. It was a lot. And so we're hyper cautious in Atlanta because we just don't want to take a chance of that happening again. I mean, there are people who lost their lives. There are people who were stuck in their cars on the side of the road, ran out of gas, kids stuck on buses. So a lot of people joke around like, oh, they shut down for anything, but it's not really the precipitation. It's the fact that we are not prepared to handle it. So there's really very minimal snow plows, things of that nature. And honestly, I don't think the citizens here or residents of Atlanta want to spend our tax dollars when it happens so infrequently. So that's what's going on here. I wanted to share a few words. I posted something this morning, and I know it's not like the popular belief or anything like that, but posted something. I wanted to take a little bit of a deeper dive into it to kind of explain what I meant. And what I posted was really about this whole idea of love and reciprocation and expecting that in any and every relationship. And I think, it's a really tough concept because we're a lot of times trained or accustomed to giving what we receive, pulling back if someone's not treating us the way that we treat them. And while wisdom is very critical, I think that we kind of lean into it a little bit too much. This whole idea of reciprocation. And if I'm doing this for you and you're not doing it for me, then let me pull back because I don't, we're not on the same page. And I mean, this could go for romantic relationships, this can go for friendships, it can go for relationship with family. But it's just important to be mindful of the fact that, sometimes we're called to love people and treat people a certain way, regardless of what they may be able to give you in that season. And that is so unpopular. And so, like, what do you mean? Like, if someone doesn't do for me, then I'm not going to do for them. And honestly, that's sorry, I had to check behind me. Definitely not a biblical or Christian stance or way to look at it either. When you think about Christ and the fact that we have been created in his image and are to model our lives after him, it conflicts with that whole idea. Think about how he was treated when he was here on this earth, and the fact that no one could reciprocate or give him what he so freely gave. And so I think we kind of have to step back and say, okay, wait a minute. Like, am I just treating people the way that they treat me? Or am I treating people the way that I would like to be treated? And the Bible does say you reap what you sow. So it's, giving that grace. And like I mentioned in my post, it's, there's so many people who have done that for you and you don't even know it. They haven't said it to you because it wouldn't do any good, or it doesn't mean, it wouldn't be productive or helping anyone move to the next level. And so they just love you so freely, even if you don't deserve it. You may be one of those people who say, well, no, I've never had anyone who gave me something I didn't deserve. You may not have been aware of it. And so I just caution you to kind of step back and humble yourself and be reminded that, you're not perfect either. And in this season, you may have the mental, emotional, spiritual capacity to pour in so deeply to someone who may not have anything to give. And of course, like I said, like, you really have to pray about everything. Like, there are certain relationships where God may be saying, okay, yeah, you do need to step back right now. You are enabling this person or hindering them from growing. And I have a whole story and testimony about that personally, but sometimes that is the case, and you walk in obedience there. But sometimes it's, I feel like this, person hasn't been there for me or hasn't been able to do for me like I've done for them. And it's, frustrating, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you have to step back and say, okay, but do you have everything that you need? Do you have a support system? Has God placed people in your life that are there for you, who can encourage you and challenge you and push you? And that specific relationship may not be the one. I think we have to be careful because a lot of times we look for the same things in every single relationship, or we qualify. If you're my friend, then this is what you need to do. If you're my boyfriend, then this is what you need to do. If you're my spouse, then this is what you need to do. And that changes from season to season. So, like I said, this is not one that I expect everyone to agree with me on. Everything that I share here, I don't share all that God may be sharing or showing me, but I do share bits and pieces and things that He may be challenging me. So, just as I'm telling you, I'm being challenged in the same way. And so, I just encourage you to really take a deep look and really pray before you go cutting people off or making very bold statements about your relationships, to um, really just think through what God may be doing. And you don't always know. You know, that was another thing for me. I'm fine doing whatever as long as I know the why behind it. You're not always going to understand, and everything's not always for or about you. And I just, want to just encourage you to, just challenge your perspective, and challenge, the way that God may be using you. And again, you may be rocking and rolling in this season, but the next season you really need someone to be there for you when you don't have the emotional capacity to give. And so it's from that place of humility and understanding that you're not perfect and that you are a work in progress, and understanding the concept of seasons and, the gift of influence and presence, and the ability to be able to love, and how powerful and transforming that can be. Just using all of that to really fuel, along, of course, with your relationship with God, like knowing that He's going to give you everything you need to be whoever you need to be to who He's called you to. And that's just the beauty of it. And then I also talked about just this whole concept of protecting yourself and feeling like, well, I need to step back because blah, 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 blah. And, when I go back and I think about Jesus, there were several times in the Bible where He was heartbroken or sad or disappointed, but He still loved. And so I'm not saying that you're not going to ever feel those human emotions or people aren't going to hurt you. But it, like I said, it doesn't always mean that that's the time to walk away or to stop loving them. So I just want to encourage you there. Really think through that. And again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, this is not a popular one. I'm not expecting a lot of likes or shares or any of that. But you'll notice with me, every message is not always easy to deliver, but it's still important to be obedient in that regard. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you're in Atlanta, please stay warm. It just got really cold in this office. And stay safe. It wasn't a lot of snow, but it was enough, when it's like, if the roads are sleek, kind of like right in the beginning, that's the most dangerous part, because it's like the water and the oil are mixing together, and temperatures are starting to drop, like I said. So just be safe out there. And I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye.